So we've got 2 plus 3, and it equals 5. Can we agree that 3 plus 2 also equals 5? Now, we used to call these fact families, right? And so if I wanted it to equal 2 using the same numbers, what would I have to do? Yeah, just 5 minus 3. And then if I wanted it to equal 3, it would just be 5 minus 2, right? Does that make sense? Like how I'm going from because of this is also true, and this is also true? Okay, so if that's true, I want you to think about this for a second. If a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and we've been doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared the entire week that we've been here, because c has always been the one that's been missing, right? Well, what would you do if a was missing? So you're saying that you would do a squared plus b squared equals c squared if to find out what a is? So what do you mean by flip it? Yeah, you would subtract. You just take c squared, let's say it was a missing, minus b squared is equal to a squared. The same process, right? Just instead of it being addition, you're going to do subtraction. And if it was b missing, you would do c squared minus a squared, and that would be equal to b squared. And so we'll take a look at some example problems from the assignment. And so if we go to if we go to the IXL, that's for today, right? It says we still got to know which side's which. Which one's C? Of these three, which one's C? Huh? You think B is C? No, listen to what you just said. You think B is C? So, which one is C? It's the 10. C is always the longest side. So, 10 is the C, which means that 6 is A. And so, if we're trying to find B, we're not going to do A squared plus B squared equals C squared. We're going to do C squared minus A squared is equal to B squared. And we start with the same way. We're going to plug in the numbers. 10 for C, so 10 squared. It's going to minus 6 squared. It's going to equal B squared still. We're still going to go to our calculator, and we're going to type that in exactly like it says. 10 squared minus 6 squared, and it gives us 64. It's equal to B squared. I don't want to know what B squared is, though. I want to know what just B is. So to undo B squared, I have to do the square roots. The square root of B squared is simply B. that means if I do that, I also have to do the square root of 64. And if we do the square root of 64, we'll find that it's 8. And so we would type in 8 for B. Now, this is really the same process that we did. If you notice, this is what we're typing into the calculator. It's right there. And then when we get done typing that in, we get an answer, and we take the square root of that answer, and we find out what that is in the calculator. So it's the exact same process that you're doing yesterday, except for finding C, you're finding A or B this time. So let's go ahead and do the assignment. It's going to be 7th grade IXL BB2. If you need help with it, feel free to ask for help. I'll gladly help you.